Buying, selling, and refinancing home it's a pretty big deal. And when lenders and agents start talking about closing costs, it can be overwhelming. It can get overwhelming really fast. But not to worry, in this video, we're gonna break things down step by step. So by the end of this video, you're gonna have an understanding of closing costs and how to save some money in the process. Now, I guess you can consider this your ultimate guide to closing costs. So we're gonna discuss what they are, who pays for them, and how to save on the next real estate transaction. So let's get started. First things first, what are closing costs? Now, these are the fees and the expenses of finalizing real estate deal. Now, these costs aren't just for buyers. There's sellers and even refinancers have their share as well. Now, closing costs do cover everything from loan origination, the title insurance, to agent commissions and property taxes. And as we discuss these costs, understand that they can vary widely from state to state, even country to country. Be sure to inspect the loan estimate closely for an accurate picture of what you will have to pay. Now let's break these down, starting with the buyer's closing costs. Now, as a buyer, not counting buyer agent commission, you'll typically pay between 3 to 6% of the loan amount in closing costs. Now, agent commissions can be a percentage of the loan amount, a flat fee, or an hourly rate, and it's negotiable. Now, as an example of the rest of your closing costs, if you're borrowing, let's say, $250,000, expect to pay somewhere between $7,500 and $15,000. And here's what makes up that number. Now, as of 2024, a buyer is now responsible for paying their agent's real estate commission fees. Now, this used to be paid by the seller. So you sign a contract with your agent before shopping for a home, specifying the fee. Now, this is negotiable and can be either a percentage of the sale price, a flat fee, or even an hourly rate. Then you have the loan origination fee that covers your lender's mortgage processing costs and usually ranges from a 0.5% to 1% of your loan. So borrowing $250,000, well, that's $2,500 right there. Then you have an appraisal fee, which allows lenders to confirm the home's value with an appraisal. Now, this typically costs anywhere from $300 to $500. Now, the appraisal protects the lender and the buyer to make sure that the purchase price makes sense. And while a home inspection might not be mandatory, it's highly recommended. So you're gonna wanna check for structural and also safety issues and expect to pay anywhere from $300 to $700 for that. And then there's also going to be fees for title insurance and title search. Now, these ensure that there are no legal disputes over the property ownership. Combined, they can cost between $500 and $1,000. You may also incur escrow and other prepaid costs. Think property taxes, homeowner's insurance, and interest that occurs before the first payment. Now, these can vary widely, but often make a big chunk of your closing costs. Now, finally, there will be recording fees and other charges. The local governments charge to record the transaction. Costs range from $100 to $250, depending upon where you live and the length of the mortgage. Now, there also could be other fees. So if you have any questions about any of the fees that show up on your loan estimate, talk to your agent or your lender. And also, don't forget, if you're putting down less than 20%, you may need to pay a portion of your private mortgage insurance or PMI up front. Now, for seller, your closing costs are usually deducted from the sale proceeds, so let's break them down. The biggest expense for a seller is the seller real estate agent commission. So while the seller doesn't have to pay for the buyer's agent fees, they still expect to pay around 3% of the home sale price. So on a $300,000 sale, that's $9,000. Then you have transfer taxes charged by the state or local government, which vary from location to location, but typically are a small percentage of the sale price. Now, sellers can often pay for the owner's title insurance, which can cost around $400 to $1,000. Now, the insurance protects the buyer from potential ownership disputes. Now, if there are any outstanding liens against the property to be sold, those must be paid off. Now, these can include unpaid taxes, mortgages, or other liens. So again, these must be cleared up before closing. And if the buyer negotiates any repairs or concessions, those costs could be part of your closing expense. Repair costs may be paid before closing as well. Finally, there may be attorney or escrow fees. Now, some states require a closing attorney, and fees can range from $500 to $1,500, depending upon the complexity of the deal. So what about refinancing? So if you're refinancing your home, your closing costs are going to look a lot like what the buyer just went through. You're going to see fees for loan origination, appraisals, title insurance, and recording, but there are some unique costs as well. You may be able to pay for mortgage points. Now, these are paid up front to lower your interest rates. And if you need to set up a new escrow account, there may be an escrow account funding fee as well. Now, you may be charged for a mortgage payoff fee. Now, the lender may require you to pay a fee to pay off your previous mortgage. Now, this fee is usually small, often less than $50. And finally, the lender may charge an application and underwriting fees. Now, some lenders may charge a fee for mortgage application, including a fee to determine if you qualify for the mortgage. Now, these fees can range anywhere from $300 to $500. Now, let's talk about strategy. How can you reduce costs? Now, here are my top tips here. Now, look, as always, which you should be doing this anyway, you should be shopping around. You can choose providers for services like the title insurance, the home inspectors, and homeowners insurance. Compare the prices and get the best deal. And then, of course, you got to negotiate with the other party. In a buyer's market, sellers might agree to cover some of your costs to close the deal. And then ask for lender credit. Some lenders will offset the closing costs in exchange for a slightly higher interest rate. And while a buyer negotiates their agent commissions before shopping for a home, the seller may be able to negotiate agent commissions as well. So if the market's hot, you may be able to ask for a lower commission rate. Supply and demand. And one more, as always, in this, look, not to make a Captain Obvious remark here, but you should always be reviewing your documents carefully. This is a big purchase here. There's a lot riding on this here. So buyers, your lender must provide you with closing disclosure 3 days before the closing. Sellers, be sure to request for a preliminary settlement statement to verify your closing costs. I mean, need I say, catching a mistake early can prevent last-minute surprises. So, look, whether you're looking to buying or selling or refinancing, understanding the closing costs can save you time, stress, and money. And knowing what to expect before you begin the mortgage process, you can smoothly and confidently navigate this complicated transaction. And friends, that's going to wrap up this video. If you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment down below. And actually, while you're down there, crush that like button. And it sure does help out the channel. And if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button or consider subscribing to the channel. Heck, we'd love to have you part of the family anyway. Now, as a proud veteran who's called Orange County home for nearly 30 years, I bring dedication, discipline, and deep local knowledge needed to help you navigate this ever-changing real estate market. So whether you're searching for your dream home or planning to sell, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. And as a realtor, I'm committed to ensuring that you get the best results. So feel free to reach out to me anytime at 949-726-2601. I'm always happy to help. And with that said, friends, that is going to wrap up this video. I will see you in the next one.